Hi, this is Kyle Sullivan. I'm going to be reviewing Alexis's first part of the narrative assignment. Um, I really, I think I understand where you're trying to go with these images. When I click on it, like when I move down here, the solo cups, the spinning, I think what you're trying to convey is vice. That was the one of the topics that we had for the first part. And I think as you move through the images, it becomes kind of obvious. Or as I'm looking at it, it might also be nature, something like that, an emphasis on recycling versus trashing stuff based on that truck, which would be a lot of diesel emissions, all of that bad stuff. And then you've got that overgrowing the trees symbolically. I really like your use of Photoshop for these kind of images and the end is near thing. I think, yeah, after looking at it, I think you went a little bit more into the idea of recycling versus conservation versus protecting the planet. I'm not really sure if that related to one of the topics that we had for the first part, but I know that I personally has struggled to embody one of the topics myself, so I completely understand where you're coming from. I think you do a good job conveying, the hyperreal and the surreal in a lot of these images. The superimposed water bottles and beer can, and then the end is near. Your use of Photoshop really helps, especially there. It sort of seems off, and then as you look, you've got the chaos of just the spinning, and you can still see that little solo cup in the back or in the bottom right of the image, and you can see, everything sort of spiraling out of control. Your hypersaturation in this image, you can see a lot of everything pops, but it's a pop of, grays and browns. So you can see, the idea of the death, I guess, of the planet is where I would take that one. And as you look, you can see, a lot of gray. Even the greens seem a little bit muted, which really conveys your idea, I think. As far as the best images that you put out, I really do like these Photoshop ones that have the cups and the trash imposed on them, because it really directly conveys your image or your thought process to me. Like, you've got the trees, you've got all of that, you've got the superimposition showing um, your topic pretty directly. And you can see, I'm sure this was taken around campus, and you can see how big of a problem it is for us. And I think you did a good job conveying that one. You can see, where everything came from. You can see as it gets darker, you've faded out the background to make this pop in a little bit more, which I really enjoy. I think you definitely understood the project. You kind of put your own spin on it, but it worked well for you. I can tell the story you're trying to tell is that, obviously we need to do better recycling, taking care of our planet. Or as you say, the end is near. We don't have much time to fix this problem. I think you definitely use the elements of photography well. You've got your leading lines leading off into the distance, which helps as you take in more of this image. As you go back, you look around. Some of the images, I think, the focus on, the water bottle, I get that you wanted it to be just sort of amidst everything, but it kind of makes the image look a little busy to me and make it a little bit harder to tell what you're getting at. As I said, I completely misunderstood your project for the beginning of this, and then I sort of understood, but for the most part, I think that you use the elements of design well. You've got the curve of the tree here, which along with the colors conveys your idea, and as it draws your eye across, you can see that completely dead tree on the left side, which I thought was really cool as well. And as far as improving the images, I think you could really just further solidify your topic. I really like what you're talking about, but I think just really further solidifying how you want to convey that instead of just, a picture of the trash showing, maybe playing around more with the Photoshop, imposing these images on to really show how the plastics and the trash is truly taking over rather than just, sitting on the ground. But I think you did a really good job.